I would like to welcome everyone to our Building Leadership Confidence Using AI to Empower Your Journey. We are in for a treat today. And so we're going to go ahead and step through, if we can go to that next slide. This is the third of a three-part AI webinar series hosted by the University of Arizona Global Campus. We represent the faculty from our Technology Studies organization, and we love AI and all about artificial intelligence. This is part 3 of the series. The previous video replay links, will be sure to get those added into chat to be sure that if you didn't receive it via email, I usually send it out after the session, you receive the previous 2 sessions. And once this third session is ready in video replay, we will share that link as well. Next slide. So here is where I usually like for us to introduce ourselves. I am Dr. Karen Ivey. I am the Assistant Dean of Technology Studies here at the University of Arizona Global Campus. About Dr. Tahara, can you introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Tahara Danishi, and I am the Program Chair for the Master of Science in Technology Management.
And Mr. Michael Hayden.
Yes, hello, my name is Michael Hayden. I'm the Program Chair for the Master of Information Systems Management and the Bachelor of Arts in Business Information Systems. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, it's 3 of us you see on the screen, but we will have a 4th participant working with us throughout this session, who is our AI assistant. And for this session, our AI assistant is a she. And so I will ask Michael if you can actually add the prompt into ChatGPT. Why do we use ChatGPT when there are so many other AI tools? It's because we want to demonstrate tools that are at the fingertips of everyone. You will check into the other AI tools on your own, but throughout the webinar series, we have demoed with ChatGPT, with Copilot as well. We're going to introduce even more tools used by leaders across industries today that you can check into as well. But right now, we're going to ask our AI assistant, please welcome everyone to our webinar today.
Okay, here we go. Welcome to the University of Arizona Global Campus webinar, Building Leadership Confidence Using AI to Empower Your Journey. We're thrilled to have you join us as we explore how AI can enhance your leadership skills and confidence. Let's embark on this journey together.
Fantastic. Now, I think it's funny. I said our AI assistant was a she, but let me change that. Is a he. Okay. All right. We're together. How about the next slide? So what are we going to do during the journey today? Next slide, please. Stepping through the agenda, we've already gone through our introduction. We're going to step into know your leadership style and grow. We already had individuals to share in the chat what their leadership style is. There are so many leadership styles. We're going to find out how you know the difference between the leadership styles and even how AI can assist you as you build skills in your particular leadership journey. And so second, we'll talk about those AI tools and how AI tools can support building your self-confidence in leadership. Then we're going to step into AI tools used by leaders across various industries. That will take us right into a section for Q&A, but know throughout the whole session, if you have questions, go ahead and put those into chat. We'll have our eyes on it and address them on the spot as best as we can. Now, we have a great feature happening after this session today. If you're able to hold on, next slide, please. If you're able to hold on, we're going to go into a 30-minute open discussion. Go back 1 slide. We're going to go into a 30-minute open discussion, which is a bonus that we're adding in for the session. And so if you want to hold on, if you want to talk about artificial intelligence, anything that we've talked about during the webinar series, how it can be used to build self-confidence, your leadership self-confidence, how you can integrate artificial intelligence, hold on after our agenda content is reviewed, because we're going to go right into that open discussion. Sounds good? Are you ready? Okay, let's go. Next slide. Know your leadership style. So I asked in chat, and you can still put into chat as well. Next slide, please. What is your leadership style? There are several leadership styles. We have democratic, we have pace setter. Go ahead and build those out. Visionary, transformational. We have several transformational leaders joining us today. Servant leadership is huge as far as those who are here today in leadership. Coaching as well. And these are not all of the leadership styles. We know there are more as well. But what if you had that question, I'm not sure. I really don't know. What's the difference between various leadership styles? And so if we go to the next slide, we're going to see a prompt that you can put into the AI tool here. We're using ChatGPT to actually ask that question. What are the different leadership styles and how do they differ from each other? And while ChatGPT is coming up with that answer for us, you'll see that ChatGPT identifies the various leadership styles, the pros and cons of each of the leadership styles as well. And so we can read through those and see what's that difference between situational leadership, transformational leadership, autocratic leadership. You can see what those differences are. And then for everyone and anyone who is in leadership, we know that whatever your style is, you must be flexible. You have to be flexible to be able to change your style and your direction based on who you're working with, based on your goals and your targets of what you're leading your organization through as a leader. But be sure to use that prompt if you need to know what's the difference between the various leadership styles. And so we're going to go to the next slide, going right into how can AI tools help us to build our leadership skills, to build our leadership confidence. And as we go to the next slide, let's say I'm a pace setter. I know, and my team who I work with know I love stepping into new things and leading the organization into new directions. But what if I need some assistance in doing that? I can ask ChatGPT that question. How do I better engage my staff toward implementing a new development process using my pacemaker leadership skills? And it tells me how. It gives me a whole list of things that I need to do. First off, lead by example. That's very important, right? As a leader. And then it goes on and it tells me different things, provide support, provide training, provide examples for individuals as well when you are a pace setter and you're leading by example because and you're leading a change, because what you don't want to do is to run off as a pace setter and you're leaving everybody else back in the dust. You want everyone to move with you. How about if I'm a visionary? Okay, I love setting strategy personally myself. I love setting objectives and goals for the organization to meet. Same question here, different question, but to a visionary leader. As a visionary leader, how can I best lead my team to increase our sales target by 50% this year? And what I want to show you with this example here, you can be very specific with the AI tool when you're asking for assistance. Set clear goals, set that vision. What else does it say here? Establish specific goals, analyze, optimize sales processes. Give me some more here. Leverage data that is available for you. It provides to you specific things that you can do as a leader. In this case, I can do as a visionary leader to excite the organization in meeting that 50% increase of a target goal of what we want to set and how to do it as well. Very, very helpful uses of AI in a leadership position. You can adjust that for any of your leadership styles as well in different specific areas you need support in when you want AI tools to assist you as a leader. Let's see the next example of what we have here. We're going to go into some examples here where we're talking about personality styles. How many people are familiar with Myers-Briggs? Let me see that in the chat. And if you're familiar with the Myers-Briggs personality traits, yep, Stefan says I am, then you're familiar that this is an assessment tool indicator. It's used across the world in whatever business direction you're in, whatever industry you are in as well. It's used in more than 88% of Fortune 500 companies, 115 countries, and available in 29 languages. And so it's pretty much the breadth reaches far. When it comes to organizations, yes, oh, who uses it? And thank you, Linda. My next question, Megan, I'm sorry, was going to be, what is your Myers-Briggs type? It's made up of four different indicators. And so if we can go to the next slide, oh, we have them coming in, ANTP, INTJ. Yes, we have four indicators. The first one identifies exactly how we receive and how we give out and process information. This is outward or inward focus. And that's looking at, are we an extrovert or are we an introvert? The next one identifies taking in information. How do you process that? Are you sensing when you do it? Do you use intuition when you do it? The next category of field looks at, how do you make decisions? Do you do it based on feelings, how I feel? Or do you do it based on the strategic step-by-step process thinking? That's the T, right? And then the last category is your approach to life. Do you do it by perceiving? Do you do it by judging? Here's what I say. No matter what your Myers-Briggs personality indicator is, a requirement of any leader is you must understand how to be flexible, how to work with anyone who you're working with, no matter what their personality trait is as well. But it's very helpful to know what your traits are. And thank you so much, everyone who has put in your traits. And I'm just chuckling a little bit. Flory, you put in, oh, your TJ asterisk asterisk. I think that probably means you're on the fence. Put back in chat if that's what you're meaning, because a lot, oh, that was a spell check. I got you. Okay. Because a lot of us are on the fence when we do measurements, meaning we can be perceiving sometimes when it comes to our approach to life, and then we can be judging sometimes too. My personality trait is ISTP. And with that, I'm going to focus on that first indicator. And we're getting back to, how can AI tools assist when you know what your personality trait is? So for me, I'm an introvert, right? Introvert by birth. I got stories when I was young, just how shy I was. But ever since I've been working in the adult world, I have been moved into leadership positions. I do leadership positions and I do it very well. That requires me to be extrovert in my methods and in my actions. And so I can ask AI here, ChatGPT, can you assist me with extroversion when my Myers-Briggs leadership trait is introvert? And you can put a prompt like this into an AI tool, no matter what your Myers-Briggs personality trait is. And in so doing, putting this in, our AI assistant is giving me some really good information, preparation for social interaction. She's given me some insights on how to manage social interactions. Mr. Michael and I are heading to Singapore to an artificial intelligence conference, and we are hosting get-togethers there. We are hosting and sharing out our research. And so I will be very much extroverted while I'm there. Crafting effective communications, time and management, understanding and adapting to different personality types. We said that before. No matter what your type is, you need to know how to maneuver and work with others. And so this is a fantastic, thank you, assistant, for your suggestions for me. I'll take those with me to Singapore. This is how AI tools can assist you in enhancing your leadership skills when you know your Myers-Briggs. Now, very quickly, because I have just a few more minutes, and we're going to hit on one example here. We're going to show you 3 situations and prompts that you can put into the AI tool, various leadership types of work. Driving innovation at work. How can I introduce a new product in an already saturated market when differentiating it from competitors? That is something that leaders will want to do. We're going to show two more, but for this one, Michael, let's go ahead and see what the AI assistant tells us here in introducing a product into a highly saturated market when other competitors are already there. What can we do? And so she's going to think about that for a while. And then she throws out understanding your target audience, identifying unique selling points of your product. So important. Going down, creating a strong brand identity. Your brand is of key importance. Leveraging influencers. Know who those influencers are in the market is so important. And she goes on and gives me other areas as well that are so important. Introducing products into the market is something that we do as leaders. We have different types of markets when we do it. And it's wonderful to know that we have tools such as this that we can go to give us, try this, do this, and the importance of this as well. And what I really like is up under every example, every try doing this, she gives an example as well. Fantastic. In the couple of minutes that I have left, we're going to go to two more leadership examples. We won't take these through ChatGPT, but we want to show you how you can come up with very good prompts to assist. So if we go to the next slide, here again in our leadership role, next slide, please. We are dealing with conflict resolution. In this situation, as a leader, how can I handle a major conflict between two high-performing team members causing disruption in the workplace? Now, that never happens, right? We know. You can go ahead and put in chat, yes, it does. And part of being a leader means not only setting the vision, directing your team, you are working those employee-to-employee interactions within your team because you want to be the best effective team that you can be. Oh, yes, I didn't catch the name, but someone said this is currently happening in my department. For this one, you know what, Michael, let's go ahead and put that prompt into ChatGPT so we can actually see what it is telling us, some suggestions on how to do this. And also, as we provide this video out to individuals, you can see these exact prompts that we're using and modify it as you need to for support in your area. And so how to handle a conflict when you have high-performing team members who are, at odds with each other. What she says is, did I come in at the bottom? Oh, she's thinking. Facilitate a joint discussion, get both parties together, provide motivational input is moving very quickly. Let's slow down and go back because we want to give someone who actually has this going on some ideas. Create a well, nope, that's too far back. That's creating a strong brand identity. Let's scroll down to this particular section. Understand the root cause of the problem. As a leader, you cannot sit back and say, that's not me. If it's your team members who are going at it, you have to get in the midst of it to try to direct a better, smooth functioning team. Facilitate a joint discussion between members. Focus on interests, not positions. Keep the focus on business, right? That's what I say. Encourage empathy and understanding. Listening is so, so important on both sides of the fence. And it goes on and provides some other very helpful suggestions. What I like as well, it tells you why it's important to do these things and how as well. So there are one other leadership scenario, if we can go back to the slide, that I want to share before I pass this off to Dr. Tahera. And that one other example is decision making and being more confident as a leader when you're making decisions. And so as a CEO in this example, how can I handle the scenario where I need to make a difficult decision that will negatively impact some stakeholders while benefiting others, right? As leaders, we need to make those hard decisions. And if you're not sure how to do it, hit the AI tool and get good suggestions from them. Gather comprehensive information, identify and prioritize stakeholders, show empathy as well that I saw in there, develop a mitigation plan in so doing it. And then it goes on and provides additional insights as well. Once again, these are just examples. We're using ChatGPT as the sample AI tool as well because it's at our fingertips where everyone can use it and for free. Use it. If you're in a leadership position, don't walk the walk by yourself. There are resources to provide insights, suggestions as well. So hopefully you enjoyed that segment of our session. We're going to transition into the next session where we're going to start talking about leadership tools that are used across industries for leaders in making leadership decisions. And so I would love to turn the floor over to Dr. Tahera Danashi.
Thank you, Dr. Ivy. I'm going to talk about tools that are used in HR, project management, and supply chain management. And I see on the a lot of chat are saying, how can we trust? Well, no, don't trust it. I always tell at least my students that don't be a fool with a tool. You have to judge it on yourself, no matter what technology tools you're using. You have to augment it with your own knowledge. So this is exactly what is going on with AI. However, we cannot forget that Gartner just released a report that said in 2023, less than 5% of operations in IT were using AI tools. By 2026, which is only 2 years from now, this will be over 90%. So what does it tell you? From less than 5% last year, we are only in May of this month, to 2026, which will be at over 9%, 90%. You know how much increase is that number? So we are going to be, as leaders, we have to learn to live with AI tools. Now, if you have a preference, I'm looking at HR, I'm looking at project management, and I'm looking at supply chain management. If you have preference, I can change the order. The first one I'm looking at as HR tools. This is just samples of HR tools. This is not absolutely covering all the HR tools. I'm just giving you what you can do. The very first one is Talent GPT. This just came out just recently, this year. It is similar to Copilot and ChatGPT for creating job description. As a leader, no matter what your role is, you want to advertise your job and ask for skills, but you don't know what to write. ChatGPT and Copilot can help you to write that job, but Talent GPT doesn't just create a job description. In addition to that, it looks at your current skills within your organization, whether anybody can move into that position, and also looks at your future needs. So it makes an overall decision for you on how to write, and bottom line, writes the job description for you. The next one, if you have tools that you're using, share it with us. I know you're all using some kind of tools to advertise your positions. The other one is HireVue. HireVue is practically video interviewing, which we all do these days. This is tool known for video interviewing. Everybody else is doing it now. So what is important about that tool? It not only does the interview, it transcribes the interview for leaders, and this is not it. For other tools do it. It translates it into about 100 different languages. So you can do interviewing internationally. You can bring people, and if you are hiring manager in the United States, you can get the translation or move jobs that are hired, that are created in other countries. There's another very distinguished kind of different from other interviewing tools. It does let you interview through chat. So you don't see the person. It's very inclusive. You only interview them by text, and it's able to read the text and translate it and so forth. The next one is applicant tracking system. This takes the job of documentation and saving and all that from HR manager. As a leader, you focus on other more important decision making. The tracking brings the offer letter or rejection letter. Then the next step, it tells you what you have to sign, what information from company you need to know, and it not only documents, it saves all of that for you and keeps it in storage so you know that you have it forever. Let's go to next slide. The next slide is project management that I saw. We have some project managers. Again, this is only samples of project management tools. We are all familiar with Microsoft Project and Primavera. What I'm saying here are included in those tools as well. The Monday.com supports agile project management with sprints and backlog prioritization and all of that. And it create tasks, and more importantly, facilitates communication. And based on historical performance, it can assign resources and find a deadline for completion. The next tool that we are looking at is Asana. Asana is, again, streaming. They market themselves with streaming workflows. They call this a smart workflow. The tool can be used, and they're coming up with a new version of it in June. The tool can be used by executive management to make strategic decisions with where all the projects are, the delays, the deadlines, the completion, and so forth. I go to Trello. Trello was not in AI, but they have now got into AI now, a web-based Kanban style, so that it is very visual. You know that Kanban, we used to all sit in a room with a whiteboard and we put all the tasks on the cards and we move them and put resources. All of that is done visually, web-based. And they are using some AI tools that tells you this work is complete, so it drops it out, this work is in progress, or change the priority, assign resources. The advantage of this tool is that you don't have to be sitting in the same room. So it allows you to develop internationally because you can be sitting remotely and do the same Kanban style project management. Let's move on to next. The next one is supply chain management. We are dealing with supply chain management, all of us, all the time. You order something online and it tells you exactly when it's going to be at your door. All of these are AI, absolute AI management. These tools have not been developed last few years. These tools have been in development for 20, 30 years. We are adding AI components to it. The first one I look at is Coupa Lamasoft. Lamasoft was AI company, a small company, was taken over by Coupa. The completion of these two does inventory management. So The combination is telling you how much inventory you have, what is overstock, what is understock, what the demand is going to be. It is very much demand forecasting. What you have to supply your retailers, what is happening, what is shortage in manufacturing, what it absolutely gives you inventory management to the best. How do you save costs? And what kind of transportation you need to use for your inventory, where to send it and where not to send it. Forecasting your supply chain management and your inventory management. The next one, Project 44. Project 44 just took over another company. I forgot. But the AI tools that are bringing in is from the other company. That is supply chain management to track shipment. Now, it's not just shipment. It tracks trucks, it tracks on the ocean, it tracks on the air, it gets GPS. All types of data are being accumulated to tell you when your product will arrive. A lot of AI. It actually predicts that when you give your device or your shipment to this company, it's going to be slower or it's going to be faster. So you make decision on which supplier, which vendors, and how to transport your inventory. And not only that, it predicts the arrivals. And if there is an issue, it tells you where it is and it communicates it with all the people that are involved in that issue, that problem. The next one is Resilient is risk assessment. This is fantastic tool. What it does is that internationally, globally, it tracks all the incidents that are happening in the world. For example, on the website that can tell you there may be problems in some location. Weather, it tracks all the weather forecasts. It tracks natural disaster. It tracks political issues that may be creating unrest that may interfere with supply chain management, with moving the products. It absolutely tracks every data that is generated everywhere. It's very data intensive. It analyzes all the events and lets you know whether it's going to impact your supply chain movement, and informs everybody around you. And if there is a delay, you will know how much and why. So it is a prediction that relies on data analysis from collecting data from everywhere in every different language to make sure your product moves. We know with the supply chain management is there is no product that is developed and produced and everything in the same place. So these tools for supply chain management with AI inclusion are of superb value to the economy of the world. Okay, any questions? I'm ready to answer questions if there are any. No questions? Okay, then I'll pass it on to Professor Hayden. Oh,
Thank you.
is asking how many of these are free. These are they're very expensive tools, but you subscribe to them. That means based on the number of users, based on the amount that you're going to use, they charge you monthly basis and number of users. Yeah, it is not that you buy the tool. You can't afford buying the tool as mid-sized company. You're very expensive. But they lend you their services because it's all cloud-based, we all know. Okay, sorry. Pass it on to...
Thanks, Dr. Tahera. No worries, no worries. We're all here to talk and build on these different concepts. I want to talk about some team building, strategic planning, decision-making, also some sales optimization tools. So I'm going to just jump right into those. again, I think as Dr. Ivy had said, it's really important we have these team building and create opportunities for good decision making. Team building is important. Again, these are some tools useful for just all different business sizes, from startups to large companies. So I'll dive into some of these tools real quick. First off, Sabre. This offers a powered coaching and team insights based on behavioral science. It aims at to improve team dynamics and collaboration by understanding individual behaviors and how they interact with the team. Again, this is a tool that is excellent for just identifying where teams members can work better together. I think very similar to understanding how the Myers-Briggs, concept works. You could probably find some additional support going through Sabre. Again, this is great. The benefits of this one are they have personalized coaching sessions, actionable insights, and these things help really managers to develop and foster a more productive team environment. The next one up on this list is Glint. This is actually a great tool. This analyzes survey data and provides insights into your team's health. So this tool is another tool that I would recommend to utilize. It's really for improving and monitoring effectiveness. It's something similar to what we may have as in Teams. Some of you might be familiar with that, but leaders can really make data-driven decisions on the other side and see how to just inform and enhance performance for individuals and for satisfaction. The last one here on this, actually the second to last one, we have an addition that we added here, Clover Pop. So this is a tool that helps teams make better decisions by tracking decision-making processes as well. This is, again, one of those tools that is used by many different businesses, all sizes. But this Clover Pop can identify biases and improves decision-making speed to ensure that all team members' voices are heard. So this is a powerful tool for just fostering that culture and transparent and inclusive decision-making and behavior. The final one on this page, Go Game. This is for team building and games and simulations. So exciting and fun. This offers team building games designed to promote fun and collaboration, tailored to specific team objectives and personalities. So Go Game is an ideal for businesses looking to strengthen team bonds as well. And really, it's useful for startups and small companies where that cultural cohesive environment, I think that's in any environment, is really understanding how to do that. But I think also just developing that sense of camaraderie among team members is so important. The next thing I'm going to be talking about is these strategic planning and decision-making tools. So IBM Watson, that's a really important one. IBM Watson, really these tools are for productive analytics, strategic planning, decision-making. IBM analyzes vast amounts of data to identify trends and patterns that might not be apparent to human eyes. So this is particularly valuable in these larger businesses with more complex data needs. And really the benefits of this is future forecasting trends, data integration, which various sources might give more comprehensive insights. And so Watson is, it was an interesting caveat to this is while I was in my coffee mug today is actually Watson here. But when we were at the AI conference in New York, we were able to intricately work with some of the individuals from AI Watson, and it's a huge, highly impressive LLM. I've seen it do some very creative insights and deep drills, very, very intelligent database. So that's a good one to use. The next one on this list is Data Robot. When we're considering about automating machine learning platform, I mean, this really helps with predictive modeling. So Data Robot is very user-friendly. It automates complex processes of data science. So when you're dealing with, again, looking at different algorithms and creating different concepts, it has a deep background in AI. And this is also a tool that's good for small businesses and medium businesses. A lot of these tools that you need for predicting analytics without really large complexities like like Watson AI. That's a really more challenging one. Let's see, Microsoft Copilot. This is an incredible tool. I've just actually seen some of the newest features that came out yesterday. I wish I could talk more on them, but the Copilot security suite is really interesting. And I think that really when we're looking at, team building and then falling into this idea of, developing, decision-making concepts, Microsoft Copilot is a go-to. It's an invaluable tool. It's already, most of us probably work with it. And again, this really has some benefits for Microsoft Copilot. It adds different interactions and improves insights over time, so your company really gets enhanced workplace productivity. So I recommend, Copilot as well for larger businesses. Some of the comparisons, I'd say, again, IBM best for large businesses, data robot small businesses to medium businesses, and Copilot, is just a seamless integration for most everyone. I'm going to move to my next slide here. Sorry, I've got a lot of moving parts here. This is a series of tools for sales optimization. And again, I'm not selling anything for Watson or for IBM. I just happened to be using their coffee mug today. But so Salesforce for sales is huge. To really look at that tool for any size. That's as startups, large enterprises, or whatever. The specifics of this Salesforce are really that it's more like that, integration platform. Salesforce has a whole lot of different tools for CRM, providing predictive analytics for sales, marketing, customer service. It leverages your data and also has a lot of other benefits. Again, really just integrating with the Salesforce ecosystem. A lot of people utilize that. A couple other CRMs that I've used, for colleges more specific, I would say that Salesforce Einstein is actually very, very data driven. And once you learn how to implement some of the tools, they have their own LLMs that are more advanced, and you get to utilize the supercomputers and data that's already available for them. This final one, oh, no, I'm sorry. I've got another one, Chorus AI. I thought this was a really unique one as well. This just analyzes your calls and provides insights into successful sales tactics. The tool improves the usefulness for different team sales, and real interaction data is provided, so you can understand that most of these systems utilize, calling. They record, they analyze calls. So a lot of the CRMs will do that. But then it also provides individual feedback. So the CRM itself is smart enough to individualize the feedback for your workers. So that's an added value. And this again is one of those ones that's more suitable for small businesses. I think again, just understanding that any of these have like a holistic view for sales activities. They help your team understand what works best. So any of these tools would be of use. And again, I think all of these tools, they have unique features. They tailor to different aspects of sales optimization, but you can definitely enhance your sales strategy with any of these. Thanks. I think that's all I have. I think that's my last slide. Dr. Ivy, this is back to you. And I'm happy to cover this slide if you'd like.
You can. So as Michael pulls up the next slides, this is stepping into 3 other areas: leadership development and coaching, customer service and support, as well as cybersecurity and risk management. And as he pulls up those slides, I'd mentioned the Singapore webinar is Super AI that Michael and I will be attending within a couple of weeks. And they use the Brella app to unite with individuals for networking. And to get a feel of who you may be connected with, they use that application to connect you with others. It was so amazing to see how across absolutely every industry, all different types of functions, AI tools are already there, already integrated and evolving in these areas. Cybersecurity, of course, is one of them. And so, Michael, back to you.
Okay, great. Yeah, again, I haven't had a real in-depth view of these, but I know that there is communication analysis, personalized suggestions, as Karen was saying. Also, this is one of those, um, you know, I guess understanding the psychology of communication is what Ripsivity I don't even know how to spell. There's too many different letters in that word. That's a new word I haven't read. But how is that pronounced? Let me see. I can probably put that into Copilot and figure out how to make the sense of that word. That is
Receptivity.
receptivity. Oh, I got it. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. Better Up. That is an AI enhanced coaching platform. So this is focuses on leadership growth and well-being. It combines AI with human coaching to provide a holistic approach to leadership development. And some of the key benefits of this are it uses AI to tailor coaching sessions to individual needs, focuses a holistic development, focuses on both professional growth and personal well-being, and has scalable solutions, offers coaching solutions suitable for businesses of all sizes. Better Up is suitable for medium and large businesses. Sounding Board. Sounding Board has this is the last one. So it's an AI-based leadership development coaching platform that offers personal growth paths and leverages AI to match leaders with the right coaches and developmental programs. So again, matching the different leaders and coaches together to see who might best perform and allow these different skills and training and behavioral coaching opportunities, data-driven leadership development. And I think, when we compare these, really looking at, I think all of these are really suitable for any size business, but really looking at my recommendation, I think just looking at this is receptivity is targeted for just that communication and developing relationships. And Better Up has that personalized holistic growth. And it also is scalable. Again, coaching, I think that's a really important fact, is personalizing leadership development is really critical. So all the tools here that we have just are tailored to different aspects of leadership development. And thank you for letting me speak on to those, Dr. Abby.
We have 2 more slides, Michael.
Oh,
you're
perfect.
speaking to.
Oh, great. Yes, so we also have Zendesk. Okay, so I've used Zendesk before. Really, that's an answer bot. So Zendesk is another one of those CRM type services, and it's really well known. It uses AI to answer questions and queries. It actually integrates and streamlines some customer support and processes. And, I think that with AGI, you're really getting to the point where the bots are so human, you really can't tell if you're speaking to a bot or a human. But also, that saves if that connection between getting a sale or getting a query or getting an answer instantly matters, which it absolutely does in any type of business situation. You really want to be looking forward to, utilizing bots for your bottom line, and depending upon your company, maybe your triple bottom line, to support your not only sales, but also the after actions. So this has AI powered, it automatically answers questions. We all know what bots do, but this Zendesk actually is a great platform. This is usually used for large companies as well. Intercom, next is Intercom. So this offers AI powered chatbots, again, for lead generation. Another one, it's like a live chat and it's personalized. Real-time support is important. So if you want to be communicating with your different leads and converting your website visitors to leads, you really want to have a good chatbot that delivers that personal interaction based upon your customers' data and their behaviors. Again, same thing. We're really looking at this last one is Drift. Again, conversational marketing sales chatbot, real time, focuses on creating interactive, engaging conversations for sales. And another tool. It's also, again, one of those things where I'd say the best bet, Zendesk would be my call on. Of these 3, I would choose Zendesk for larger businesses. And then with small businesses, it seems like Intercom has a leg up as well. So the next slide, let's see what we're talking about next. We have, AI tools for leadership, cybersecurity, and risk management. So this is interesting. We've got Darktrace, Cylance, and CrowdStrike Falcon. I may talk about a couple more, including Copilot, and maybe let's see, another tool that we use is Carbon Black. That's another great tool. But first, let's take a look at Darktrace. So this is an AI-powered cybersecurity platform using machine learning to detect and respond to threats in real time. Again, this is one of those reactive, validation tools that you can see, and it really identifies different threats on different systems. It learns and adapts to new threats, so it does have machine learning, and it automatically neutralizes threats without human intervention. So I've seen some of the details behind the workings, and you'd be really surprised on how this is integrated and where the attacks and where these threats are coming from. The Cylance next is a AI-based antivirus software. A lot of the different viruses we used to have, tons of, way back in the day, we had a whole lot of different I guess you could say white hat, red hat, black hat, different scenarios that we would build. So today, cybersecurity is actually creating their own tools, and they're analyzing and classifying threats as they come. So predictive analytics, they identify these different threats. It optimizes your security, blocks malware. Cylance, I haven't used it myself, but it seems like it's a good tool. CrowdStrike Falcon is an AI endpoint security threat intelligence. We use CrowdStrike. It's a great tool. Again, it's one of those ones where you have to, it secures all the different devices you have. So this is a system-wide integration for larger companies, and for smaller companies, I think it's, maybe it's a little bit, it's very comprehensive at endpoint security and threat intelligence. So again, with all of these tools, I would say small businesses, Cylance, maybe, and medium businesses, Darktrace, and large businesses, maybe CrowdStrike Falcon. Carbon Black, that's an endpoint security as well that we use. It's not on this list, but I recommend utilizing that. Protects against a lot of different cyber attacks, and that also has a lot of different behavior patterns, and it has different insights into the endpoint activities. So that one also really works well for medium and large businesses, because they have that robust endpoint security and that advanced threat detection response. Copilot security, part of the Microsoft ecosystem. It integrates with 365. You can buy that as an add-on. If you do have Copilot security is an add-on now. I went through a seminar. It is extremely useful in automation and detection. So between these, I think, really looking at, continuously enhancing your security for most businesses with Copilot. It could be any size business for that. And with that, just all these different features, they're tailored to different aspects of cybersecurity and risk management. You have to choose those and to protect your own potential threats, depending upon the value of your information and your team and your approach to what's important. I think this is a great idea to just really focus on what different aspects are important to you for cybersecurity. And back to you, Dr. Ivy. That's all I have on that slide.
Okay, simply fantastic. What amount of information this is that we have. And what we're seeing is, when it comes to being in leadership, we have a lot of choices and alternatives to provide support to develop our self-confidence, the main reason for this webinar session. I want to go to the next slides, Michael, and then we're going to just have to go right into open Q&A and open discussion as well. Once again, this team did, and we still have active and open, if you're interested in participating, a survey, online survey. Do not hesitate from going there and supporting the survey. We're asking questions regarding your level of self-confidence as well as leadership self-confidence. And our whole direction is the summary of this information. We're going to feed this up in our organization, identifying recommendations for our university to do more of providing tools like this, support like this, throughout all of our student bases and all. And also we offer, when you take that survey, the opportunity for you to receive one-on-one insight in working with us. We will work with you to provide to you directly these or tools that you may find very helpful. And we will provide the condensed listing of tools we've talked about throughout the various webinars and others based on what your individual needs are and interests are as well. So don't hesitate to go there. Michael, if you can actually just snap that, if not, I'll go back to do it after I talk, but to put that survey link into chat so individuals have that as well. Okay, if we can go on to the next slide, we usually want to provide a good highlight of the emphasis, the other direction emphasis, as well as our programs that we have here at the University of Arizona Global Campus. If we can go to the next slide. The next slide. All right. And so these are the various drone emphasis that we have an offer at UAGC. Like I said, we are going to provide this information out to individuals with live links so that you'll have access to them. We highlighted during the previous session how important drone knowledge is and how drones are integrating across industries as well. The more we can enhance ourselves, the more we can be of benefit to organizations where we are and our own companies as well. Next slide. Highlighting again the continued information that we have here at the university. These are the various technology programs that we offer at the University of Arizona Global Campus and the link to get additional insight. If you just wanted to go to the uagc.edu website, you will find information on each one of our programs. And one of the slides that I think we slipped over, it showed the various technology emphasis in addition to drone that we offer here at UAGC. That includes our artificial intelligence emphasis as well. If you want to find out more on the AI emphasis we offer at the University of Arizona, you can just go to the uagc.edu link and you will be able to get information directly on the AI emphasis also. So this has been fantastic, where we have been able to bring to you all different types of insights regarding leadership and how to use AI tools to enhance your leadership. This time that we have right now is for you, and we're going into it for you. We have just a few more minutes where we want to address any questions anyone had on the content that we provided. And then we're going straight into, we realize several will need to drop, but if you want to hold on for an additional 30 minutes of open discussion regarding AI, this is what we are going to step into. So before we do that, Kim, if Kim is still there, Kim, you had your hand raised some time ago, and just wanted to call on you. We're at the point where we want to open up microphones as well. And so if you need your microphone opened up as we go into the open discussions, I may just open up everybody's microphone just to make it easier. We'll do that. And then if anyone has a question as well, go ahead and put that into chat or raise your hand. This segment is for you to get deeper into anything we've talked about. Tamala raised her hand, and Tamala, I'm going to try to find you. If you want an open mic, I'm going to give that to you. So Tamala, if you want to go ahead, you have an open mic. Okay, Tamala, if you don't want the open mic, you actually have it. You can actually put your question into chat. Oh, that was accidental. All right. Well, we're just glad you're here, Tamala. All right. May we have the link for the survey or questionnaire you mentioned? And Michael, you put the link into chat, didn't you? Can you just repost it?
Yes, I put it in chat already. I can drop it back in there again.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Most definitely. Let's see, Vincent, I think I'm going to learn hands-on. Thank you for all the info. I will watch the replay, most definitely. Yes. Any more questions or topics you would like to discuss? In the meantime, especially if you will need to drop, go ahead and let us know. Did you enjoy this session? Do you want more of the session? I need to see it. I need to see it flowing in the chat. Was the session good? Would you appreciate more of this type of information coming to you? And we're going to take this back and be sure we can do what we can do to provide more of this content as well. Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you. Keep the comments going. Good session. I would like to see more AI seminars. All right, team. That's our challenge, right? To pull more together, especially as we will be presenting at 2 different artificial intelligence seminars. And so not only do we present, but we're bringing back information that's happening globally regarding artificial intelligence throughout the world. And so you will see more webinars coming from us as well. Thank you, Grace and Jennifer and everyone, Sarah, who is putting your comments in. We take your comments very seriously because we want to be sure we're all prepared for this world, this exciting world that we're living in right now, and how exciting it is to live during a time when a tool such as artificial intelligence is evolving at the pace that it's doing, that impacts all of our lives. Yes, fantastic. If anyone wants an open mic as well, just tell me, raise your hand. Makins, okay, let me work sort of fast. I can give you that open mic. And you have an open mic if you like to go ahead, Makins.
Oh, great. Thank you. This is McKen's great presentation. Appreciate the content. I didn't realize there were that many AI tools available. So I'm definitely grateful for what you all presented here today. I guess the question I have as a student of UAGC, um, we understand that UAGC has certainly embraced AI in helping students in their success within their career. I guess one thing I wanted to ask to see is there anything in the works today that would allow AI to help with the library experience that we have, especially when we're doing research for an assignment or anything related to that. We know that there's the default search capabilities, which works great, by the way. So I love the search abilities in library, but I just wanted to know, would there be, or is anything in the horizon that we might be seeing in the near future, perhaps that might have an AI flavor to it that could help with searching through the content that would help students with their research or any other assignments that they may be going through that where they leverage the library?
First of all, Makins, that's the correct pronunciation, right?
Mackenzie without the E. Mackenzie, yeah.
McKins, I got you. I got you. That's a fantastic question. Is anyone on board from our library, UAGC library?
And there's actually a library session going on the exact same time at this. I know for a fact because I'm a fan of the library, and I do understand some just there are some tools that are being implemented, but I think it's really important to say, consensus wise where we're going for that would be better suited from from our library resources. I don't want to overstep my bounds there, but I know there are tools in the works.
And what we can do is we can take your question and follow up with our library point of contacts and get that answer back to you about
Great.
that. Because that's a fantastic question. It has to be yes, it needs to be a matter of when, right?
Understood. Yeah, and like I said, it's something that you think about. We toggle back and forth between tools, and it's like, well, if I got to go to the library anyway and go through this, could there not be, could we maybe have one stop and shop? And of course, we understand the whole thing with taking paywall content and putting it out into a chat. You don't know where it goes, and I guess I want to be mindful of that as well, and that I'm not breaking any any rules as far as that's concerned. And I think having it in, I know we talked about security, right? Copilot, and we see a lot of organizations are embracing the Copilot and the the security add-on, as was mentioned before, and that seems to be something that a lot of companies are doing, and perhaps maybe the library would be a good candidate for something where it's secure within that environment, as opposed to something that's being brought outside of it.
Yes, yes, the library would be fantastic. And so we will take your question back and get an answer for all of us, because we would love to see this evolution and to see that tool provided out to all of our students, faculty, administration as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Charisse, am I pronouncing your name correctly?
You are. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Ivy.
Mhm.
I'm actually a PhD student in the College of Education, and I'm pretty new to AI. Unfortunately, I missed the first and second session. So I'm really looking forward to, checking those out after you guys provide the link today. One of my questions is, I'm still kind of confused about how I source and cite ethically. I want to make sure I'm giving credit to AI. And just in the realm of if I'm using it for inspiration, for even a meeting, informal or formal, and what is the proper protocol to cite for like a meeting or something like that if the inspiration comes from AI?
There are documented instructions that are available to answer your question very specifically. There are documented instructions available on the proper way to cite. And so regarding where your source may be coming from. So Charisse, instead of trying to give you that answer here, I'm going to get that documentation, or we'll get that documentation and send that straight to you. We'll send it
Thank
out
you.
to everyone as well. And another, that is a fantastic question, because as we have all of the resources available to pull information, how we cite things is so important. And one of the things with AI, as well as any other tool, we always have to get to the true source of it, right?
Right, right.
Yes, and we know that, right? But especially, and I'm hearing your question specifically, you're saying if it's from a meeting,
Yeah,
a specific type, how do we cite that? We'll get you that.
yeah. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. I appreciate that.
Yes, fantastic.
I would
Question?
add to that, I do use Citation Machine, and there's another couple different citation engines that you can utilize. So try Citation Machine. That has a lot of different options. That's my go-to. There's a couple other tools out there for citing just those events. Mhm.
Thank you.
Mhm.
We did place into, and Charisse, thank you for the reminder. We did place into chat the video replays of webinar part one and part two of this UAGC AI webinar series. And so do use those. Feel free to share those as well with others to assist everyone. We want everyone to be at our best and our top, and to be in front of. And what we do know is the more we are willing to work with technologies, the more we are knowledgeable of technologies in whatever field and industry we're in, the more beneficial we are to that organization and or to our own company as well. And so our direction is making sure we have the best knowledge that we can and know how to apply as well. Say Grace asks, is the ability for AI to learn with continuous interaction built into all AI tools? Yes. Dr. Donashi, you were nodding your head. Did you want to answer that as well?
Absolutely. That's what AI is all about. The machine learning is, it learns as you give them data. So it's not always the difference between automation and AI is automation does the work same every time, but not with AI. AI, it keeps on improving upon new data that comes. It learns from past. So yes, there is a continuous interaction built onto AI tools.
Very good. Very good. Jenny AI. Is that Jenny.ai, McKins?
Thank you for that. Jenny AI, I believe it's I would say it's .ai, but I know that I've been able to just do it with Jenny AI, space AI, and most likely the site takes you to .ai. I can find the link and post it if that's okay.
Fantastic. That would be good. It's all
Yep.
about sharing, as we come across what is working and what works well is very good. And one of the things we shared out during the first session as well was a whole list of AI tools. And that particular listing, the majority of things there, tools presented there were free. And if there was a pay direction, a purchase direction for maybe the next level of the tool, it was identified in that. That was during part one webinar. And we can send out that listing as well. Okay, Megan was saying that she came on board in October. Is UAGC developing a more thorough AI policy, and will it bring back the AI detection tool in Waypoint? So knowing that AI is evolving, our policies regarding AI are evolving as well. So the answer to your first point is yes. As we are learning more regarding AI, our university is developing a more thorough policy regarding AI, and also knowing that AI continues to change and evolve, that naturally means that our policy needs to keep pace as well. And then for your second question regarding the AI detection tool, it was stopped in Waypoint because it was giving false negative feedback. And even as that tool continues to be corrected, eventually we'll be able to bring it back. But we had to stop right now because there were just too many false negatives being provided by the tool. And we just need a better accuracy in order to have that embedded in our Waypoint environment. What are the do's and don'ts when it comes to utilizing AI to assist in writing papers? So one of the things we did during the first webinar as well is directed individuals to our website inside of the university that actually identifies do's and don'ts. And Kadisha, I'm going to be sure that you receive that. I'll pull that website and be sure we send it to you very directly, because those are our distinctly identified do's and don'ts of using AI tools or tools like it inside of our university. Just a high level direction here. Know that AI tools are just like any other tools that you can use. They're more robust. They speak in natural languages, which makes them easier for us to use them today. But what still remains required is that we do not take something that's provided by a tool, AI or any other tool, or a book, another author, and use that content as our own. We always have to use our own voice. If we are referencing information from another author, another source, we have to cite it. And so that is straightforwardly those do's and don'ts when using any type of tool, any type of other tool, any type of other resource when we are developing our own papers and our own writings. But for the more specific listing of do's and don'ts, we will be sure you receive our UAGC website that identifies all the do's and don'ts very directly. And team, make sure we're not missing anything. We have these fantastic questions coming in, and if you guys want to jump in and take one, be sure to do that. Okay, Sharice.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Dr. Ivy.
Oh,
I
go
was
ahead.
going to look in the chat, and there's, again, I think different prompts for what could students show their work, a lot of different opportunities. There's different models when we see, individualized prompt engines like, I don't know if you've ever seen some of the environments where, you can create different, environments that have certain criteria and just allow certain things to support. So, restricting, different areas of that could be one way. Does Grammarly's auto suggestion count as AI writing? I think it's supposed to be a tool to help your writing. So I think that AI tool Grammarly is a primary tool that a lot of universities, including us, use. So that would be an authorized tool to help your grammar and writing.
Linda asked the question, what do we do about AI in the classroom while we wait for the university to reinstate the tools? Is there an approved protocol? There's not a protocol that we have within our university regarding AI, except for our do's and don'ts direction of what we have when it comes to using AI. Here's what I do as an instructor in my courses. As an instructor, a lot of times you can tell when the language pattern or method of content from a student changes, right? If it is so correct, so exact, when that very same student was not writing in that way or method before, and give me feedback if you've seen this as instructors, then you note this as an instructor. Here's what I do. I tend to focus on what content is being shared by the student. So just because a tool can provide an answer, that it has pulled in research from different databases and it has very good information in it, it doesn't mean that that answer is actually addressing the question that was asked. I may be asking you as an instructor not to give me the correct answer, but to tell me why you feel that's important, to tell me why you think there's an alternative view to the information that may be generally shared. So what I do as an instructor is, even if I receive an answer from a student that seems to be so correct, I break it apart myself. And I go in and I ask the student to elaborate more on one part or another, to pull out more. What do you mean by making that statement? That's called critical thinking. And I take the student down at a deep level of critical thinking to be sure that we're not focusing just on the right or wrong answer. We're focusing on why is that the answer that you are suggesting, student, when you're providing that, be it in your DQ or paper or learning activity of what you're doing. And so if we do not have a protocol that's active right now that can do the analysis for us, I say let's move a little deeper and not just look at is the student pulling that right answer or not, but also look at helping the student on the learning side of the fence. What are you learn? What did you learn from what you just said? I have received a prompt from a student that was really good, could be in a newspaper, but I go straight into what are you learning from that? Are the companies doing that very same thing? And what that is, what that does, it directs the student to think deeper, to get more examples and to justify their answer. So Linda, hopefully, does that help or not? Then let me know if you want an open mic to give your feedback as well. A complete breakdown of understanding. Yeah. Oh, in the in the course room where you're trying to take students into that deeper level of learning, they don't respond. They're like, hey, I did my general post, and then I post to my peers, and they're not conversing more. Dr. Tahara, Dr. Michael, Mr. Michael, Dr. Tubi, you guys are experienced faculty as well. What suggestions do you have for engaging the students more in the course room?
I have similar problems
Sorry,
with
go ahead, Dr.
students.
Please go ahead.
With the students using especially AI and ChatGPT and Grammarly. Even I read that even Grammarly doesn't mean that whatever they suggest you do it. You have to use your own intelligence in all of these interactions with AI, no matter what you do. When they use ChatGPT, as Dr. Ivy said, you can just look at the formatting and sentence structure, and you know that it is not students writing. So I comment immediately. And recently I even write, is this generated by you or is it generated by an AI tool? I asked that question, and you're right, they never answer your question, but they know that it is very clear that the writing style has changed. And regardless of, when robots talk, we all understand that it's a robot. This is exactly the same in when we copy something without really, yeah, you can get it as assistant knowledge, but you cannot just forget about what you have to do, the critical thinking, and use it as the source of all information and rely on it 100%. We had so many questions during this webinar that everybody was actually questioning the same thing. How would we just take it? No, you don't. You have to use your own critical thinking, your own intelligence. We have to be at the level above artificial intelligence at this level for our students. So we need to communicate that with any tool you're using, you better augment it with your own intelligence.
Yep, I agree. This is McKenzie again. If I can just jump in real quickly, and then I know someone else is going to ask a question. So I think for me, what I've learned over time in using AI and that, and I kind of agree with the sentiment that you probably don't want to give the tool full reign on anything that you're essentially going to be submitting. I think the best way, as someone who's technical as myself, I try to modularize things, right? So even the research I'm researching, I'm using one session or one conversation for my research, just to essentially get some ideas as to where I want to go, right? That's my outline. And then once I've kind of gathered all of my sources and I kind of have a direction, I may bullet out what I want to write as a traditional outline. And then in a separate session, that becomes my input to whatever AI tool I decide to use to help me flow, put everything together so that it's cohesive. And then, right, so it's not just saying, hey, write me a paper. It's more of, here's my ideas, here's what I want to write about, and then essentially give it some context and say, here's the context that I want to write about. And then using my outline, look at that and then start to put the words together. And then at that point, that just becomes a draft that I may tweak and change based on what I really want to say. The reality is that not everyone is a wordsmith. Not everyone knows how to flow. Sometimes you need a jump off point, and sometimes AI can help you get a jump off point. But I'm certainly going to change it to the way that I want to get the point across using AI as a coach, right? So that might be one way to approach it if it helps anyone.
No. That does help. That's very good. And I love using AI as a coach, right? You're setting the direction and path of what you are relaying. We're referring or referencing to AI just for confirmation, support, or additional content. Is that right direction? Okay, fantastic. Okay.
I
Um,
want to say, I
Linda.
want to just reach in if just really quickly, I think that part of the guidance and the development that you're talking about is really developed in that sessions where we have live learning and we can advance the communications and explore the students' learning, enhance their understanding, and even give them a little more confidence. I think in video or in week 1 and week 2 of this, we did a lot of discussions on building confidence. And I think that, that interaction will help students to reach that top tier. We can't necessarily judge you in a written communication. That's sort of the direct reflection of LLMs. We can directly communicate with you and develop and scaffold your learning with some other connectivity versus it doesn't matter if it's Zoom. Like I utilize virtual reality tools to build teams and then to communicate a little bit more effectively, where you've got a different environment and you don't necessarily have to be communicative, but you can also just understand that flowing into some of these live learning sessions that I think is in about 10 different classes that we support. it's really more specific to the class on how your, interaction goes. Not everything is based on GPT. There's just a lot of things that you need to do with technical hands-on integration of real tools and workforce supply. That's where we're really going, is to make you successful in all aspects. So I just want to say live learning is also one of those advanced tools that we're implementing with this. So I think that the development of our positioning as we go is to continue to have more communication and more understanding. Thank you.
All right. Linda Shea.
Oh boy, thank you. Sometimes I'm not sure I'm on the right call. To answer Dr. Malik's point, unfortunately, we're bound to a rubric, which is predetermined. We can't not give them points if the rubric doesn't match the use of AI. So students are using AI to write their posts, their discussion posts, and maybe papers, and the rubric doesn't specify use AI. It just, the rubrics could either be adjusted, or we need some other protocol to call students out. At this point, I ask the student to revise and resubmit, reminding them that the university has an academic integrity policy, asking them to make sure that they're citing all of the sources they're using, including outside sources and tools, properly in the citation and the reference page. If they need help with APA, please get back to me. And that's where it goes. It's very discouraging.
You're saying when the student doesn't respond?
Right.
Yeah, it is, because
And I don't have the tool to grade them down necessarily in the rubric.
I think the other question
Haven't incorporated into the rubric those finer details. They're very generic.
I think the other question that Susan was asking, because when she started in the conversation, and Susan, feel free to come off to ask for a mic if I haven't given it to you, but she was saying when she, as an instructor, is responding to students, just communicating, and the students are not responding back. That's one of the things that she started talking about, not necessarily just AI, but just general in conversing with students in the.
And she was mentioning here, though, that the student doesn't respond, does the instructor then explain that the student might not earn any points for that post? And that's where I'm saying we can't necessarily do that if the concern is AI, because the rubric doesn't gear us toward that.
Correct.
Whoever wrote the rubrics didn't take into consideration that students would be plagiarizing their work with AI.
Yep, Susan, definitely. Give me a second. Susan will go deeper into what she's talking about. Give me just a second. And Susan, there you go.
Hi, thank you so much. Yes, I certainly understand the limitations based on the rubrics. It makes sense to me that there have to be these boundaries. However, if I, as an instructor, am faced with reading something that is so obviously AI, what I am interpreting is that my student is not demonstrating competency in the subject matter. If it is generic, and especially if it doesn't have the objective of directly responding to the question. So I have discussed with peers of mine that for a discussion board, we really should consider questions that ask in some way, to subvert the power that AI has for satisfying us. So in other words, you might ask for a personal experience. In other words, what we might do is consider, how can we ask this individual student to become involved in the response rather than just taking something, copying and pasting it. And
just take a Socratic approach, make them argue their point.
Exactly.
That's critical
And
thinking.
again, And I really appreciated what you said, Dr. Ivy, about critical thinking when you were speaking about it previously. And I don't think that this is so outlandish that we don't want to or expect to get examples of critical thinking. And again, I phrase it as saying demonstrating competency, right? Because that's what our role is. And that's also our responsibility with accreditation. And there's just a whole gamut of ways that we can say it's our responsibility to ensure that it is ethical and it is valid. So thank you so much. Appreciate all of this. And please do keep providing us with these opportunities. They're so thought-provoking, and we certainly need to be involved at the cusp of all that is happening. So thank you so much.
Our pleasure.
Let me also add that AI is progressing so quickly. It's so fast. It's not just our universities. This is a problem that all universities are facing. It is the tools are coming quickly and we are not ready for it, that's for sure. But when you bring up all the concerns and all the faculty, we get together and we put all this information and the issues that we have and probably some suggestions of how to solve them, then we will get to a point that at least my generation, we have been always through that, through generation of technology coming forward and we are behind. Our legal system is also the same. They are behind. With social media, we're all having all these issues. So it is an issue that we have to pioneer and resolve it, because we also don't want our students to grow to become just mimic whatever AI tells them. That's what the fear is everywhere. We want them to really think and make decisions with assistance from AI, not just depending all on AI. So these discussions are extremely helpful, and they are the roadmap to what we will do with all the AI that is progressing as quickly as it is.
May I add one other comment? If you can still hear me, I'm not sure if you can.
Yes, we can.
Oh, thank you. I have thought about this and have compared our current situation as educators with AI to being really anyone who is involved in law. We obviously don't. Well, I should say it this way. Many of the laws in the Old West, or those that were created during the Old West times, were a result of what were bank robberies or other kinds of violations, but they may not have violated a specific law. So I liken us to being in that same situation. We don't really know how to create or determine what might be a good strategy or a policy until we find out how some of what's coming to us through AI is being used and maybe not for the best outcome. So I don't think we have to be feeling too challenged about it. I think we'll get there, but we are sort of after the fact looking how to resolve these things. But I have a lot of confidence in this whole process. So again, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, and we love your focus as well. And that's for all of us, right? To keep that positive mind and to know that we are right in the midst of evolution. We're right in the midst of a powerful tool being integrated throughout industries, practices, functions, educational environments, etc. And we are the instructors, the faculty who are right there. And when I say right there, I mean we're right in our universities. We are right there educating students. We are preparing students to be successful in industry as well. I say how exciting of a position to be right in the midst of evolution. maybe we carry the weight on our shoulders. I don't know, the portion that I carry happily. And what we've decided to do in technology studies is to share information. The more we share with each other, the better off we can all be. Dr. Tahera was talking about, just what different universities are doing and how we are all figuring this out. Well, one of the webinars or conferences that we presented at, we hosted a roundtable for academic institutions for the AI4 conference last year, and we've been invited back to do the same thing this year, where we're bringing together universities and we're talking about this. It's an AI conference, and we're talking about what are your challenges? What are you doing? How are you managing things? We'll be able to bring back what policies do other universities have in place? How is that working? What are they doing? I recall last year, one instructor from a different university said, the way I manage AI in my courses is I make it part of the activity. I ask students, go to AI, identify the answer that AI provides. That's a starting point. But then I ask students to break it apart. Give me an alternative direction. Tell me why you agree or you disagree. And that is how he identified, which I think is a great direction. Don't avoid the tool, put it out there, and then have students to build from it. That's that critical thinking analysis that he incorporates using the tools to do just that. And then when you think of how will we students use this tool in industry, that's exactly how they will use it in industry. They will not just take what the tool says in the organization, company you go and you implement it and you do it. You have to have the wisdom to know how to analyze that, break it apart, identify problems with the solution that has come back to make things better. And that's how we have to continue to develop our students in our universities to do the same thing. Well, if there's nothing else, are there any additional points? That's a great approach to embracing it where it moves things forward. Yes, definitely. Guys, if there's no additional points, I want to be sure if anyone wanted to get any other idea on the table. If not, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I know I spoke quite too many, but I just love the conversation. So please keep these going. I'm sure if it's benefiting me, I'm sure it's going to benefit many others. So thank you everyone who's been commenting, as well as all the presenters. I guess I'll just leave with this one thing, and I didn't note this in the comments, in that it might be worth evaluating whether the assignment load per week might be driving the wrong behavior. As myself as a working adult and parent, for a lot of, perhaps for just like many others who are very busy, have very busy lives, we are being called upon as technology is developing. That also means that our time is also being capitalized on in terms of our workday, right? So we're being asked more and more to do more. Right. And then by the time we get into studies and we want to be, of course, integral in what we do, then here comes the load of assignments that we need to get done. And I just wonder if, if one good assignment, long assignment, thoughtful assignment might be it versus the 5 that's due by midnight. Could that be something where there's a trade-off there, where we can find the right balance that might help with driving the right behavior, and perhaps maybe drive more responsibility and ethics as part of when we're submitting our assignments and we're not using AI just to catch up with the time.
I think that's a fantastic suggestion and something for us to ponder, and we're going to make that the last thought before we leave, because yes, are we driving the behavior, the learning patterns of what we desire to drive? Maybe what we were using before, the structure, the rubrics, well, it's time for a change. Technology has moved us forward to an element that requires us all to think more about, are we helping individuals to learn and apply versus just give the right answer, right? I think that's good. And especially if I got a midnight deadline and they're just asking me to give the right answer, that's what I'm going to do. So we have to, it makes us all think about, as instructors and the academic whole environment, are we driving the correct behavior? I love it. We need to follow up with you, Mr. Give me your last name. Is it Attis?
Addis.
Addis, Mr. Addis. We need to keep you connected as well. And everyone who's here, I want to say thank you, especially for all of your contributions with our continued discussion. And we will continue it more. We'll have more webinars coming out as well.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Yes. Thanks, everybody. You take care.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Fantastic.